So let's go to measurement for a minute because, in the same way the business model has been questioned through time. I know when we put a corporate challenge out there on the Pro Bono 1 billion challenge, and in a lot of things we do around service, people question, well, where's the measurement, both in terms of how do we know that was real, and then how do we find the impact, how do we measure the impact, to know that it was a good investment of time and resources. And Jim, from Deloitte's standpoint, I know when we were together in February in New York, several people commented afterwards about your unique approach to how you measure service, but more importantly, how you measure the value of employee time spent serving. Because companies can talk a good game about it's a good thing to serve, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't really get the attention of your management and it doesn't really lift you up within your environment, you question if that value is real. So can you talk a little bit about how the measurement systems you've employed around your pro bono efforts?
Well, I certainly am unapologetic about the notion of a business case for service. I think the business case is there. I think it's clear, and I think that's what helps make this whole activity sustainable. And then in terms of what we did with the pro bono program, and I give Evan Hochberg from our firm huge credit for being the engine and the idea and really advocating. But we, from the tone at the top, embraced this, moved it forward. And the soundbite that I would use to try to describe what we did that made it different was we integrated it into the business model, and just fundamentally integrating pro bono services at the planning level, and then making that happen at every level of the enterprise. You can imagine in a professional services firm, what matters to us is, billable hours and utilization. And if you're saying to your people, we want you also to, in addition to meet all these billable hours and utilization goals, we also want you to be active in your community. It's a message that's hard for them to embrace, and especially if the program that you're asking them to make a difference on is very consuming. And so what we did with the pro bono and just integrating that into the business model is we allow those hours devoted to those projects that are approved to actually count the same way that other billable hours would count. And we actually value the time that that professional is devoting the same way we'd value it if they were billing it to a client that would actually had sold the service. And it actually goes on revenue reports and it goes on utilization reports exactly the same. And then it's only at the very top where we write that receivable off and call it part of our contribution. But we make that decision at the top. We don't make the business unit be accountable for their revenue goals by not being able to generate the revenue with that time that those people are devoting. And we don't penalize the individuals because their utilization statistics aren't as strong as perhaps others that they may be evaluated against. But by integrating the pro bono activity directly into the business model, and right from the building the 3-year business plan, making the $50 million commitment, putting in place the infrastructure in each of the regions for projects to be advocated, those projects to be approved, and then to put a real results orientation on them has made a difference for us, and I believe is going to make a difference also for our people. And I love the comment about the soul, by the way, because I think that's the other reason that we do this is I'm interested in arms and legs, but what I really care about is hearts and minds. And when you see the twinkle in the eyes of your people, then you know you've gotten something to their soul, and their commitment to Deloitte is different, and that's what really helps make the business case resonate, because it makes a huge difference in the talent market.